Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. Now, we already finished the sila. Now, the second part is ascetic, which I will skip it because first is nothing to do with your life, which also difficult to practice. It's more for monks who are willing to go for dutanga. Dutanga means go to forest and practice this. You can read by yourself. It's quite understand. All right. Now, on the concentration, which is actually important for meditation, because the Buddha already says sila samadhi panya. So sila, we already discussed different types of morality or virtue, and it's a foundation for good deeds, and it gives you faith, and it helps in your meditation. Now, when we say samadhi is actually same with meditation, but samadhi normally is to do with the samatha word. But samadhi is actually means that can keep the mind well. All right. So there are a few ways to learn. One way is we go to Visuddhimagga text by text, which is taking time. If I'm going to whole book, or I can sum up some. But I think since we are on the starting point, so let us go paragraph by paragraph first. So later we see how we can make it speedy, right? Maybe now we can invite some of the new students to read. Okay, Shu Hong, can you read the number one? Shu Hong, yes.
Good evening, Sayangi.
Yes, good evening.
Okay, now concentration is described under the heading of consciousness in the phrase develops consciousness and understanding. It should be developed by one who has taken his stand on virtue that has been purified by means of the special qualities of fewness of wishes, etc., and perfected by observance of the ascetic practices. But that concentration has been shown only very briefly, and so it is not even easy to understand, much less to develop. There is therefore the following set of questions, the purpose of which is to show the method of its development in detail. What is concentration? In what sense is it concentration? What are its characteristics, function, manifestation, and proximate cause? How many kinds of concentration are there? What is its defilement? What is its cleansing? How should it be developed? What are the benefits of the development of concentration? Yeah, that's it. Can you hear me?
Okay, so thank you. Yes, okay, so I will explain now. Now, we already studied the starting point. Remember that we say when somebody need to untangle the tangle, then he need to develop the consciousness and understanding. Now, this word consciousness I mentioned on the very first class refer to the chitta. Chitta means refer to the samadhi here. All right. So first, of course, you need to develop the sila virtue and then purify it by fewness of wishes. And the second part, which I skip, is the ascetic practices. But I think that one you can read the chapter yourself. Okay. So now, so to understand more about concentration or samadhi, we need to follow the question here. Actually, in the whole Tipitaka, there are many information about samadhi, but so far in Visuddhimagga, you can see so much mentioned very detailed here. Some is taken maybe from Patisambhida, and some taken from the sutta here and there. Yeah. Now, so we can go. I think this is a. So far, the whole sentence is quite a lot. Okay. But here so far is this one. Concentration, profitable unification of the mind. All right. So this is one of the things that I will share with the notes with you all later because sometimes I'm actually in the midst of making notes. Yeah. Okay. Now, so we get different. So this is a one given by the text just now. Okay. Now, concentration is the profitable unification of the mind. Now, all these are English, but if you translate to Pali, it's easy. Profitable means kusala, and this is the ekagata. Okay? Ekagata means one-pointedness, or we call it unification of mind. So this is the answer the question of number 1. What is samadhi concentration? Now you can see here, chitta. Now, this book is actually, when it printed, is actually very small to read. But when you look at the footnote actually is even smaller. You know, the actual size of the book, I think, is half A4. But the printed copy, not sure how many of you have the book. If you don't have, try to buy. You can get it from Amazon or any of the wisdom publication. The footnote actually is very smaller, but the footnote really gives lots of very good information because the footnote is the sub commentary of this book. Because Visuddhimagga is a commentary, so this is the footnote is a sub commentary. So now I already say Chittasa Ekagata, unification of mind, in the sense of agreement and all harmony, Samaga, or consciousness and its commitment in focusing on a single object. So you can see what is samadhi. All right. Means chitta and chittasika. If you learn a bit of chitta, chittasika, consciousness and commitment, focusing on the single object. All right. So this is a very good definition in terms of Abhidhamma. Okay. So what we get so far, samadhi means your chitta and chittasika focus on one object. All right. So that's very important. So when you meditate, let's say if you know the breathing or you know the abdomen rising, falling, as long as you can keep your mind, and this is Chetasika means mental factor, keep your mind and mental factor on a single object, whether on the rising, falling, on the breathing, or on the hearing, or on something. As long as you can keep on a single object, so you will get something called samadhi. Okay, so this is a first definition. What is concentration samadhi? Okay, now this part number 3 is I'll make it bigger. This part is more on Pali. A little bit smaller. Okay, I invite Pali student to read. Any Pali student? Oh, Vera, you can read.
Good evening, Saiji.
Yeah, good evening. Yes.
The 3, 2. In what sense is it concentration? It is concentration samadhi in the sense of concentrating samadhana. What is this concentrating? It is the centering adhana of consciousness and consciousness concomitants evenly, samam, and rightly, sama, on a single object. Placing is what is meant. So it is the state in virtue of which consciousness and its concomitants remain evenly and rightly on a single object, undistracted and unscattered, that should be understood as concentrating.
Okay, now Vera, when you read this one now, can you sum up in your own way what is trying to say? Just a simple sentence. What do you think it's trying to say?
And concentrating is centering.
Okay.
The consciousness and chitta and cetasika in evenly and rightly manner on a single object, placing it.
Okay, so that's all right. Now, all right, centering is because of this Pali adana, but actually another meaning is you can see when you translate the commentary, there's something in the commentary say placing. That is what it meant. So this centering means placing. So means placing chitta, chittasika, consciousness and conscious commitment evenly and rightly on same object. It's actually same like just now. All right. So another meaning explained here means undistracted, unscattered. All right. So that's meaning of concentration. So okay. Yeah. Okay, I already copy here. So you put the chitta chittikasa evenly, rightly. So why is it the like this? Okay, because actually this paragraph is trying to explain. All right, you have the sama or sama evenly, rightly, sum, and adana center. So you got samadhi. So when you put the two together, sum and samadhi, then you got sam adi samadhi. Samadhi means evenly, rightly, centering, or means placing. So in brief, this is just a Pali. So it's same thing. You put the chitta, chittasika, means your mind, chitta in simple way, mind and mental factors. Okay, because when mind arise, because this Visuddhimagga is full of Abhidhamma. So that's why in Myanmar, after they study Abhidhamma, then they start to study Visuddhimagga. All right. So same. Chitta, chittasika, mind and its mental factor, you place or center better, use the word placing evenly or rightly on one object. Okay. So this is the meaning of concentration. All right. So can you do it in your life? Very easy, right? So when you sit down, you note the body sitting, touching, or you note the four great elements, you note the body hot, cold, okay, or you note the breathing, or you do the Buddha no sati. So when you do Buddha no sati, your mind focus on the Buddha. So if you can place it evenly, rightly on one object, another definition is what? Without scattering, okay? Means that the mind is not dispersed, is focused well. So then you get the word samadhi. All right? Okay, clear? So this is important. So if you have samadhi, if you don't have samadhi, how you know? Very clearly, if your mindfulness is not on one object, let's say you're supposed to note the breathing, but your mind go wandering, then you don't have samadhi, right? So your mind scattered to what? Wandering. So you have samadhi, you have not samadhi, you can ask yourself. All right. So if you think about the Buddha, Buddha Nusati, so if you can focus on Buddha Nusati, Buddha's qualities, then you have samadhi. So we just use the word samadhi for concentration, right? Okay. Now this is the first point here. All right. Clear? Any question about this? You all can interrupt me if you wish. Anybody got question?
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about this samadhi,
Yes.
you say it's scattered, but sometimes when you sit and you think, then suddenly you go blank. Is it samadhi or is there's no samadhi?
No. When you go blank, definitely no samadhi. Because the object must be very clear. So if the object is not clear, then you don't have samadhi. Definitely. The object, there must be, you can see all mind, whatever we do, the mind, according to Abhidhamma, the mind takes an object to arise from the bhavanga, right? So if the mind arises from bhavanga, this means that the object must be there. So if it lost, that means that it is covered by sloth and torpor or delusion. So at that time, you don't have samadhi.
But
Okay?
the whole thing is, you are there, but you know that your mind is there, but you are not with the object anymore, but you have no object at all. And
What kind of object is not there anymore? What do you know? What are you meditating on? Okay.
let's say I'm meditating on the rising and falling of the
Okay.
abdomen.
All right. Then your mind goes somewhere, right?
No, it didn't go anywhere. It's still there.
Okay.
But
But
then
when you
it slowly,
when you say
slowly,
it lost the object, that means that it already no more in samadhi. It go to wandering mind or sloth and torpor and so on. Okay. It's no more there. All right.
we are not going to short and topper, neither we go to restlessness, but it's just that we are aware, but we are no more with the rising and falling of the
Okay.
abdomen.
So another reason is, let's say if your concentration is very strong, you lost the body, so-called you lost the body, means your mind go to mind level. It's also possible. So, I mean, if your mindfulness is very strong, so maybe at the time your mind does not perceive the body anymore. So your mind go to mind level. So if you are practicing correctly, then you go to observe the mind. All right, Brother Lim? Okay.
But is it samadhi again? Is there a samadhi?
It depends on your mental state. If your mental state is very bright and clear, then you got samadhi. But if your mind is not bright but it's very lazy and full of sloth, then it's not samadhi. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. So
Thank you
let's
very much.
okay. Manifest and not scan functional. Okay. Okay. So we go for this one. All right. So next one. Okay. So number 4. So Thomas, you can read number 4. Thomas, can I hear you? We cannot hear you, Thomas. Okay, yes, Thomas, you can read again. Sorry, the line lost just now.
What are its characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause? Concentration has non-distraction as its characteristic. Its function is to eliminate distraction. It is manifested as non-wavering. Because of the words being blissful, his mind becomes concentrated. Its proximate cause is bliss.
Okay, thank you. Now, do you understand about this, Thomas?
I think so.
Okay, can you explain in simple English?
The characteristic of concentration is simply that the mind is not distracted. It stays on one object.
Mhm.
The function is also to eliminate this distraction. The function is to keep the mind on one object. And the concentration is manifested as non-wavering. That means it is steadily staying on the single object.
Okay, what's the meaning of manifest? Do you understand about this? Is there another word for this manifest?
Like realization, like it's realizing itself as non-wavering, I would say.
Not really. It shows how it shows.
I chose, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, next one.
And concentration is bliss because it is a positive state of mind grounded in virtue, and it is a joyful state actually.
Okay, because a joyful or good mind, then the mind become concentration.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so first one, characteristic. So that's how we learn Abhidhamma. In Abhidhamma, you will see this characteristic, function, manifestation, possibility, all the chitta or cettasika. When we read Abhidhamma, they have this. So first one is lakkhana, all right? How it normally we'll see the lakkhana first. Okay, non-distraction. Function is actually, we can use the word like, is task. What is the duty? The duty is reduce, eliminate distraction. Manifest is how it shows to you, show to others. Your mind is not wavering. And the last one is because of blissful means because of sukha, happiness, the mind is a cause here. So the mind is concentration. All right. So I put in my note.
Teacher.
Yes, Brother Lim.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Brother
No.
Lim. Yes.
It's blissful. That means
Blissful means sukha. Yes.
sukha.
Happiness.
That
Yes.
means you don't go into when you go into sukha, you are totally lost all the object. What?
Sukha can be a feeling here. All right. Sukha
Ah.
can be, it can be the object, but it can be a feeling. Actually, we call it the mental state. So when the mind is in sukha, so sometimes we use the word peacefulness. So when your mind is peaceful, it's very easy to get samadhi. All right.
So,
Okay.
but we are talking about, you say see an object, but then the object disappear because of the sukha, the blissfulness come out, the rapture
I
come out.
think you should not always say the object disappear. The object should not disappear all the time, because if we have samadhi, the object should be very clear instead of disappear. All right.
But then
Okay.
they come
Yeah.
out with the sukha already. Then how?
Okay. I think let me continue. All right. Okay.
Mm.
So yeah, concentration is very easy. All right. So what's the purpose of samadhi? Is very important here. If you have distraction, so we can think of in this way. So if you have distraction, then you should use samadhi to reduce your distraction. So if your mind is wavering, then you should use samadhi to reduce the wavering. All right. So if you want to have good concentration, try to develop sukha. Sukha means peaceful, in a way, happy mind. Okay. So we can think in the other opposite way. All right. Okay. So clear. Now we go slow because I think so far this part is quite easy. This part is start to have all the kind of like, in a way you can say different types of characteristic or different kind. So some are important, some are not so important. Like what is two? Okay, it's go by number. You see in Visuddhimagga like this, but you also see this same thing in the Patisambhida book. They will go one is what, two is what is one, what is two, what is three, what is four. Okay, some here is some of the things we can invite somebody to read. Doris, you want to join us? Jolis? Yes.
Yeah, good evening, Sadaji.
Yes.
How many kinds of concentration are there? First of
Yes.
all, it is of one kind with the characteristic of non-distraction. Then it is of two kinds, as access and absorption. Likewise, as mundane and supramundane. 4, as with happiness and without happiness, and as accompanied by bliss and accompanied by equanimity. It is of three kinds, as inferior, medium, and superior. Likewise, as with applied thought and sustained thought, etc., as accompanied by happiness, etc., and as limited, exalted, and measureless. It is of all kinds, as of difficult progress and sluggish.
Okay.
Sluggish, direct knowledge, etc. Likewise, as limited with limited object, etc. According to the factors of the four jhanas, as partaking of diminution, etc., as of the sense sphere, etc., as predominance, and so on. It is of five kinds according to the factors of the five jhanas reckoned by the five-fold method.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
So this is just a category. So later it will explain one. All right. So the first one kind already mentioned before. All right. Now it start to have explain the meaning two. Right. Now, so this means that what Doris read just now will be explained one by one here. So the first one is one and two is access and this one. Right. Sumita, you can read the number 6-2. All right.
In the section dealing with that of two kinds, access concentration is the unification of mind obtained by the following. That is to say, the 6 recollections: mindfulness of death, the recollection of peace, the perception of repulsiveness in nutriment, and the defining of the 4 elements, and it is the unification that precedes absorption concentration. Absorption concentration is the unification that follows immediately upon the preliminary work. Because of the words, the first jhana preliminary work is a condition, a proximity condition for the first jhana. So it is of two kinds, as access and absorption.
Okay. So we have two kind, all right? So first one is called access, upachara. Another one is absorption, apana. Apana is when inside the jhana. Access is sometimes we call it precedes. Precede means before. Sometimes even though it say before, it can be after. Right. So let's see. Okay. So I already copied to here. So I only copy some of the text that I think is important. Right. Now, okay. Now, if we have two kinds here, one is called access, right? Concentration. Another one called absorption. So it's good to learn the Pali also, because sometimes when, especially you heard the Burmese monk, they don't speak the English. So upachara, chara, samadhi. Another one is called apana, samadhi. Right? Now, this one is, use it very simply when somebody is inside the jhana. So this is a preceding the jhana, means before the jhana. Before the jhana, and can be also after, before and after, right? So it just why do we use the word access? It's leading to jhana. So another way we can use is we call it neighborhood concentration. Means that it's just before the okay. So it's just before the jhana. All right. So what is jhana? We already mentioned jhana. Jhana means your mind can focus single on the object without wavering. Okay. Okay, now how to get access concentration? So here already mentioned this kind of meditation. All right. Some of the meditation last time we study. Okay, there are 40 types of samatha. Not all will lead to apana. Some will lead to access only. Okay, like 6 liquidation, yeah. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and then so on. Mindfulness like that. Peace means thinking about nibbana, because all these require you to have lots of thoughts. So your mind cannot be calm down, totally calm down. Okay. So that's why it leads to access. But apana will be strong, because like kasina or even like breathing. So we had 2 types here. So it's good to know here, because sometimes people feel very disappointed if they cannot get to absorption concentration. But actually, if you can go for access concentration, is okay, as long as the main purpose is to suppress the 5 hindrances, all right? Because if not, why we practice so hard in meditation, okay? Because some people say they cannot after they meditate for, they feel that after they meditate for maybe 1 year, 2 years, they cannot get jhana, they feel so disappointed. Then they should ask themselves why they want to get jhana. Okay. I mean, why do you want to get jhana? The purpose of jhana is to suppress the hindrances, and it adds your mind to the vipassana. So if somebody cannot get jhana, if they can get access concentration, if their access concentration is good enough for them to suppress the hindrances, and it help them to go for vipassana, that is good enough. Because sometimes I meet people, they say they've been trying to get jhana for 5 years. Right. So I say after 5 years, you still want to, why don't you just change to vipassana? Okay. All right. Thomas, do you get the point? Okay. All right. What's the point? Yeah.
I think the point is to see when it's time to switch to vipassana and not waste the time working on some jhana, because the main thing is vipassana meditation, and it can also be accomplished with excess concentration.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You get the point. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes I heard people, they tell me, oh, 5 years, they still cannot get first jhana. And then they feel very disappointed. All right. Okay. Now we have 2 here. So let us continue. Okay, then this is talking about mundane, supramundane. I think this is all right. From now, this point onwards, it will look very confused to read if you didn't have the knowledge of what is 4 jhana, what is 5th jhana. You don't have the table, right? So, yeah, this one also. Okay. So from this point, we need to switch on to my my notes already. Because if I read, I think you all will get confused. So this one is good to know. Later I'll share the notes with you all, okay? Okay. Now, when we say jhana, all right, for those who very first time you don't even know the word jhana, what is actually jhana, all right? Jhana means there are actually 4 or 5. 4 according to Sutanta, 5 according to Abhidhamma. And jhana means a collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So you can ignore this one at the back first. No, these are just a lot of things. Okay. So Vitaka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekata. All right. So I just copy this one. So we come back to this later. Okay. Okay. All right. Getting more messy. Okay, now in jhana, you need to have this. What is jhana? Okay, what is jhana? We already know jhana means concentration. All right. So concentration means placing rightly on the single object, on a single object. Okay. And what is jhana? Means jhana is made of 5 jhana. We call it, sometimes you use the word jhana factor. So you have Vitaka. So first one is Vitaka. So sometimes we learn easier. We just remember Pali. Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. Right? Right? So Vitaka, we use the word initial application. Vichara is sustained application. Piti will be joy. Sukha maybe sometimes we call it happiness. Now, Sukha is sometimes have different translation. Sometimes they use the word bliss. Ekakada, you can see just now we have the word unification. But now standard translation will be one-pointedness. Now, okay. So that's why when we read the Dhamma, the old English Dhamma. So we have different translation. Sometimes it's very complicated. So it's better we stick with the one translated by Bhikkhu Bodhi. All right. So if any of you want to read more Dhamma, I recommend some of the very good author like Bhikkhu Bodhi, like Jnana Ponika. Okay, all these are very good because Jnana Ponika, he's a German monk. He stayed in Sri Lanka, I think they call it island hermitage for many years, translating the Tipitaka to English and German, right? And then he also went to Myanmar and follow the practice under Mahasi method. So he did write a book called, I think, the Heart of Buddhist Meditation, which is one of the very popular work. So we are reading this book because first they have Pali knowledge and they also have very good Dhamma knowledge, especially Jnana Ponika, right? So we will have Vitaka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekata. So when we say jhana means you will have these five, all right? And if you've managed to develop these two fully, strongly, then you'll be able to place a single very strong mind on this one object, then you will get to one stage that is very different from the worldly mind. Okay, because jhana is we call it the rupa vachara mind. Rupa vachara mind means it's not the normal mind. So you feel like you're at another high level. Okay, sometimes feel like a little bit out of the world. But main thing is you need to develop this vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekata. All right. So just now the thought will have this one. Some with applied thought and sustained thought is the concentration of first jhana together access concentration. All right. Now you can see the translation different. Applied thought. Okay. Now another translation here will be applied thought. Sustained thought. Right. Now, when you read this, also there's a question: what is actually applied thought? What is actually sustained thought? Okay. What is applied thought? What is sustained thought? Okay. Now, joy, maybe you'll be able to understand. All right. Sukha, maybe you'll be able to understand. One partner, you might need some time. All right. Now, what is initial application? What is sustained application? Right. So I think for those who have learned Abhidhamma, I think in a way you are lucky because I only teach Abhidhamma last year. This year I don't want to teach because it's too much on the mind also. So many, it's not easy to teach also. All right, now, so simply Vitaka, all right, so we use a very simple language. I learned from Sayadaw Nandamala. He's a very good Abhidhamma teacher. So we also did some Abhidhamma book translation. So this one very simple. Put the mind on the object. Sustained application means, so after you put the mind on the object, you need to keep the mind on the object, right? So imagine you are noting the breathing or abdomen rising, falling. Okay. So first, there must be a mind that bring the mind or something that bring the mind or put the mind on the object. Then after that, there must be something that, of course, the first one you put, then you need to keep it for some time. So we call it keep the mind. But in a jhana factor, in a jhana time, these two happen together because they are jhanic factor. You put and keep the mind. All right. Now joy. So joy we call it sometimes we call it refreshing the mind and body. So the purpose of joy. So when you have joy, your mind feel refreshed. Okay. So this is a experience that everybody can experience. So when you feel very tired, and then sometimes suddenly a good news appear to you, then you're literally you feel refreshed already. You're happy again. Okay, so you might feel more refreshed. Okay, like sometimes when many last time before the COVID, we have more children here. So normally the children are very lazy to wake up in the morning. I think now you know. Okay, so we tell the children tomorrow we are going to Swedagon. Wow, the children 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they wake up already. They cannot sleep. So the joy of going out, wake up early because they want to go to Swedagon to pay respect to Buddha. Early morning, they cannot. They normally 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You tell them to wake up, or they never wake up. So the joy literally keep our mind afresh. Okay. Now, so after the joy, actually, even though they happen together, they can have cause and effect. So when the joy is strong, so what happened? You makes the mind, especially the mind, body also, body and mind, feel calm, peaceful. So sometimes happiness, sometimes we use the word bliss, sometimes we use the word, it has a kind of like sense of peace, or calm. So that's how when people meditate, if they can get strong sukha, literally they can sit there 1 hour. They don't feel tired because the body feel very calm. They sit there like 1 hour. The hours pass very fast. They don't feel tired. All right. So there's a sukha. So ekagata we know already. Unification. So one pointedness. So this the one. Okay. In terms of we call it samadhi. Samadhi is actually this one, right? So in jhana factors, this is the one that really strong and it's the one that keep the mind. One pointedness means that focus well, very strongly on the object, right? Okay, you can see all of them have different function, but they exist as a jhana factor. So first jhana will have these 5. All right, clear? So how to remember? Just remember the Pali. Vitaka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. Right? Sometimes we cannot remember the English because the English change or the sometimes initial application, applied thought. Right? So you just remember Vitaka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. Vitaka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. That's how we remember the Pali. We recite again. All right? If no question, we go for the text. All right? So let's see. Okay, now the text start from this one. Okay. Now, first jhana, together with access concentration. We apply thought and sustain thought. Okay, so first jhana, you have applied thought and sustain thought. It's talking about access concentration because when access concentration strong, then one will get the jhana. Jhana means apana. Okay, so you will see if you follow the chart like this. Okay, so we have to go back for that. Okay, now. Okay, so first jhana, let's say we go for Sutanta method, there will be, or Abhidhamma method, there will be 5 of them. So you have Vitaka, like just now you call it applied thought or sustained thought. Here we call initial application, sustained application, all right? So that's why first jhana will have these 2, because other jhana will not have these 2, only first jhana, okay? So that's the reason why it just now say in the text. The first jhana, we applied thought and sustained thought. So vitaka, vichara with the first jhana. Then on the second jhana, you have without vitaka, this one applied thought, with vichara only, sustained thought. It's considered second jhana in a 5-fold reckoning. 5-fold reckoning means according to the Abhidhamma. Because Abhidhamma, you have 1 to 5, Sutanta 1 to 4. All right. So second jhana, which only in Abhidhamma, you will have vichara, sustain application, but without the vitaka. All right. Now, how to have this? This is when somebody get the first jhana, then they just to develop it, they get rid of the vitaka, then they go for second jhana, and so on. They get rid of the second. To get from the second jhana go third jhana, they need to get rid of vichara, then go third one and fourth one, and so on. Finally, they go to 4 or 5th jhana, which is a one pointedness. At this point, that's the strongest one in terms of if they want to go for strongest practice in jhana, or they want to go for psychic power, or they want to go for the arupa jhana. All right. So basically, here is that how you get from one jhana to second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, right? But just now the text is trying to mention from the first jhana to second jhana. First jhana got vitaka, vichara. Second jhana, without the vitaka and get vichara. All right. So I mean, it's easier if we look at the table. So if we look at this, it's like Because remember, we are reading from the Pali. From the Pali, it translates to English. So sometimes read the English also need to think about what I'm trying to say. Okay, now I think this point is interesting. From when a man sees danger only in applied thought and not in sustained thought, he aspires only to abandon applied thought. There's a vitaka. When he passes beyond the first jhana, so he obtains the concentration without applied thought and with sustained thought. So after he passed the first jhana, he go to second jhana. In second jhana, he will not have vitaka. Right? He only who will have vichara. Okay? It just says the same thing like just now. Without the vitaka, with the vichara. So this say with like this. Okay. And so on continue. Now, concentration without applied thought. So without the vitaka and without the vichara. It's a unification of the three jhanas, beginning with second in a fourfold reckoning, with the third in a fivefold reckoning. So it's three kinds with the applied thought and so on. Okay. Now it's just trying to say that from this point onwards, so second or third jhana, third or fourth jhana, fifth jhana is without the vitaka and vichara, right? So these two without vitaka, without vichara. Right. So the question is why we have different system here. Sutanta insists in Sutanta means that in Buddha discourse only talking about first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. But in Abhidhamma, it specifically have 5 jhana. Because according to some texts say, it's possible for somebody from the first jhana, they get rid of vitaka vichara, go straight to the this side without the vitaka vichara. Okay. But some they say if they need to go slowly, so they will get rid of vitaka, then second time get rid of vichara, and so on. Right. So because of different skill, somebody can get rid of vitaka vichara at some time, or somebody cannot get rid of vitaka vichara, so they need to go slowly. All right. Anyway, this is the way they do it explained, which actually, if you manage to practice all, is good. All right. If you cannot practice all, at least make sure you have strong vitaka, which are piti, sukha, ekata, to get to some good concentration before change to vipassana. All right. So anyway, this is so then you explain the one without bliss. This is, I think, it just explain the table here. Okay. So it's not so difficult. So, okay, number 13. 13 is also another type, all right? Limited means on the plan of access. Exalted means, all right, limited will be normally talking about, will be Kama Vachara here. Exalted will be those in a Rupa Vachara, Arupa Vachara, okay? Fine material and immaterial. Because at the time, the Samadhi is another level, right? So measureless concentration refer to those supramundane, to do a normal path. So it's 3 kinds here in terms of limited, exalted, and measureless. Okay. I think this is just some knowledge. Now, this part is actually more interesting. Okay, somebody can read 14 and 15. Let's see. Okay, Sister, how about Brother King? Yes, you can read 14 and 15, Brother King.
Okay. In the first of the tetrads, there is concentration of difficult progress and sluggish direct knowledge. There is that of difficult progress and swift direct knowledge. There is that of easy progress and sluggish direct knowledge. And there is that of easy progress and swift direct knowledge. Herein, the development of concentration that occurs from the time of the first conscious reaction up to the arising of the access of a given jhana is called progress, and the understanding that occurs from the time of access until absorption is called direct knowledge. That progress is difficult for some being troublesome owing to the tenacious resistance of the inimical states beginning with the hindrances. The meaning is that it is cultivated without ease. It is easy for others because of the absence of those difficulties. Also, the direct knowledge is sluggish and in some and occurs slowly, not quickly. In others, it is swift and occurs rapidly, not slowly.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, now, so this is 14 and 15. Okay, so okay, now we have few types of I put the notes down there. Yeah. Okay, so this is according to the 4 type of practice. Okay, sometimes some people difficult progress. All right, some people have easy progress. Okay, so this some people, like for example, you find that when you practice, the progress is very difficult. But some people, when they practice, they call it happy or easy progress. They find that they don't need to make lots of no need to struggle so much. Okay, everybody have different ones. Some difficult, some easy. Okay, and some, even though it's difficult, and then they get a quick attainment. Means that after they overcome the difficulty, their attainment is fast. Some people easy progress, but difficult to get attainment, so it take them some long time. So the best one will be Sukha Patipata, and this is a quick. All right. So this is the best one. All right. But most people will not have this one. Most people, I think in Buddha time, maybe few of the Arahant, like Bahya, Darucharya, or certain Arahant, after they listen to the Buddha, so they just practice for a while and then they gain enlightenment very easily. So most of the very good karma, good parami for them to meet the Buddha, so they will get this one. So I think most of us will be under the sluggish, this one, dukkha patipata, danda binya. Okay, difficult progress and sluggish attainment. So the practice from the preliminary to access concentration. Yeah. So it takes time from the preliminary to get the access concentration. So sometimes attainment of wisdom from access concentration to absorption. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Here, according to text, will be, well, okay, this is the first one. Okay. Why is it slowly? Because of sometimes hindrances. The main thing about something that stop the jhana is always hindrances. Okay. So in some people it's fast, it's slow. Okay. And then why is it slow? Right? And then here explain. If some people cultivates what is unsuitable, then his progress is difficult, his direct knowledge is sluggish. But when he cultivates what is suitable, his progress easy, his direct knowledge is swift. Okay, it's opposite. But if he cultivates the unsuitable in the earlier stage, suitable in the later stage, or is cultivates the suitable in the earlier stage, unsuitable in later stage, each one's a mix. Okay. He developed to the development without carrying out preparatory tasks, so his progress difficult. Okay. Now, so a few reasons. The first one, if he cultivate what is not suitable, right? Okay. So sometimes that's why it's important to find a Okay, this one. So sometimes is we need to find out what is suitable for us. So let's come to question, all right? Now, we have so many practice, like samatha is 40, even like vipassana, if you calculate, there are 16. So how do we know what is suitable for us? All right? So, of course, if you have good opportunity, if you manage to meet a master who can see your mind, see your like past life, like or why people become enlightened during the Buddha's time. The reason is because they managed to meet the Buddha, and the Buddha managed to see their mind, and the Buddha gave them the suitable practice. So then they can progress very fast, right? So, but if they practice what is unsuitable, then the progress is difficult and knowledge is sluggish. I think you all heard about the story, right? Okay, I think now, do you want me a break? Okay, I think we can just continue. Now, there's one story in Buddha's time. Sariputra, he has one disciple. Somebody means that or a late Sariputra ordained a young monk, so he became a young monk, and asked him, because he's a young monk, so the Sariputra gave him the object is asubha. So go to see a dead body and contemplate the dead body. Okay, because one of the it can be practiced as samatha, yeah. But if you can see anicca, it can be vipassana. So he asked the monk to spend 3 months just contemplate on asubha, the dead body, and then to see how the body changes and so on. But the problem is, this young monk, in his past life, I think it's about 500 past life, he was a goldsmith, born in a goldsmith family. This means that he used to see gold. So his eyes always see gold. He likes gold. So the moment the Sariputra asked him to see asubha, asubha means a very ugly object. So the mind cannot take out this object. Now, remember when we say samatha practice means even like vipassana, the mind must put the mind on the meditation object. Right? First, the mind must put on the object, or the mind must grasp the meditation object. So since he was in a goldsmith, and past life this life also in born in a goldsmith family, last life also in a goldsmith family. So his mind cannot grasp the asubha, the dead body. To him, to his mind, is very repulsive. He does not like it, you know. For asubha practice, you have to see it, but you have to be willing to accept it, to contemplate it. So since his mind refuses it, so how can he practice? So that's why his the meditation is unsuitable. So for him, struggling for 3 months, no result. Also no progress. Attainment also very sluggish. So then Sariputra bring him to see the Buddha. The Buddha saw his past life, and the Buddha gave him a flower, okay, and make it a gold color. So lotus flower, gold color. So he contemplate it. Then after that, his mind calmed down. So the Buddha make it like real lotus. So it become veiled down, flowers, petal by petals, drop down, drop down, drop down. Then he rise anicca. Okay, then he attained. So we can see that it's important for us, if we have we need to cultivate what is suitable. If we cultivate what is suitable, the progress is easy. Okay. For example, somebody doesn't like to contemplate the body. So if you ask him to contemplate the body, he said the body is boring. He like to contemplate the mind. He like to do chittanupassana. Oh, that is actually possible, because is one of the satipatthana is chittanupassana. But in Mahasi method, we always do with the body first, contemplate the breathing. Okay, so it's good. You need to cultivate what is suitable. But the question is how you know if what is suitable. So if you can find teacher who guide you, or like now you are learning all the possible meditation method and you help yourself, is also suitable. Okay, next one. All right, so another thing, if on this paragraph 17, if you are overwhelmed by craving, then progress is difficult. If the mind is overwhelmed by ignorance, then ignorance and craving, so all these are like cover up. So it cover up, then the direct knowledge is sluggish. If not, it's shift. Okay. Okay. All right. I think we take 5 minutes break. Then we'll continue. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, so we read a little bit more then before we go for another reading. Okay, so this part. Okay, so next student. How about Wendy? Wendy, are you around?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
In the fourth, yeah.
Yeah, you need to speak a little louder.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
In the fourth theta, there is a concentration, partaking of diminutions. There is a concentration, partaking of stagnations. There is a concentration, partaking of distinctions, and there is a concentration, partaking of penetrations. Herein, it should be understood that the state of partaking of diminution is accessibility to oppositions. The state of partaking of stagnations is stationariness, satana of the mindfulness that is in conformity with that concentrations. The stage of partaking of distinctions is the attaining of higher distinctions. And the stage of partaking of penetration is accessibility to perceptions and attentions accompanied by dispersions. According as it is said, when a man has attained the first jhana and he is accessible to perception and attentions accompanied by sense desire, when his understanding partakes of diminutions, when his mindfulness that is in conformity with the stillness, then his understanding partakes of stagnations. When he is accessible to perceptions and attentions unaccompanied by applied thought, then his understanding partakes of distinctions. When he is accessible to perceptions and attentions accompanied by dispersions and direct to fading away, then his understanding partake of penetrations. The kind of concentrations associated with that four understanding are also four in number. So it is of four kind of partaking of diminutions and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So do you know what you read? It's difficult, right?
No, I don't understand.
Yeah, okay. So
Sorry.
you just say that this, I copied the text here. So anyway, we look at the text. So the first one is just talking about, what is it? The first one will be, all these are coming from Pali, daimyo, stagnant, distinction. So daimyo means diminution is getting less, diminution. Another one is the stagnation. Another one is this. Now what is that? distinction. Another one is what? Penetrating. Penetration, right? So means that what will reduce your concentration, okay? So the first one, concentration reduced by sensual desire. So when somebody has sensual desire, the concentration will reduce. So when the mindfulness, is stagnant, when mindfulness is stagnant means mindfulness is like not growing, okay? It's stagnant. How to call it? How to point it? Stagnant. Is it the English? Distinction is when it's means that it will be improved, right? Improve when it's go for second jhana. Because when you say unaccompanied by applied thought means without vitaka. Without vitaka means it already reached in a second jhana. So means that from first jhana, go to second jhana and so on. So penetration means when he assess the perception, attention, accommodate this passion. So means that when he has this passion and fading away, this means that he is reduce the greed. All right. So that's how he say this four. You see this because it actually mentioned in some sutta, and this quoting from the Vibhanga. Vibhanga is second Abhidhamma text. Okay, so if you want to improve your concentration, make sure it's not decreased by sensual desire. Make sure that your mindfulness is not fixed, means that not increasing. Means that you need to move to the second jhana. From first jhana, go to second jhana and so on. And penetration means penetration to the nibbana or increase in vipassana, means turn your mind into fading away and dispassion. All right. So that's the whole thing trying to say in this paragraph. So sometimes the text is actually very difficult to read because it's translated from the Pali also. Okay. Okay, so now, okay, we will stop reading. So I will just going to show you another sutta. So, okay, this sutta I also mentioned last year. So it's a simple sutta, but it gives us the idea about this is clearly from the Pali, from the Buddha's word, how one can practice. So normally the main problem people will be in from this nivarana, hindrances. So tasma pancha nivarana pahine, when the five hindrances are abandoned. So attani on himself, samanupasato, he reflects, all right? When he reflects on himself, all right, so you can see here, first he need to make sure that he's free from the five hindrances, because five hindrances is the main problem why somebody cannot get any jhana. After he free from five hindrances, he reflect on himself, means that he take his mind matter, namarupa, as the meditation, right? Then, or you can say he reflects something, either his own morality or whatever. Because how he had joy, there must be something, it's not mentioned here, but you can think maybe he think about his morality or he think about his precept or whatever. So then pamoja. So the first thing that will born is pamoja, delight. Then after pamoja, you get joy. He get joy. Then he is, then because of the piti mana, joyful mind, you can see when the mind is joyful, then the body calm down, pasambati. So after that, when you have calmed down body, you get sukha. Sukha is the mind level. Then, because of sukha, you get samadhi. The mind is get concentrated, right? So first step is always reduce the hindrances, and finally you get concentration. So if you want to have good concentration, so you need to reduce the hindrances, right? And then step by step you go for joy, happiness, and so on. Okay, now this sutta is also Second sutta. So you can see here from the commentary, all right? Now, how can one get joy? Okay, he can think about simple thing. He can reflect on his own sadha. I have absolute faith in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, in Sangha, all right? So he think about the Buddha's quality, Dhamma's quality, Sangha quality. So that's how you think about that. So just simple do like chanting like Iti Piso Bhagawa Arahan Samma Sambuddho, right? So we chant. So after that, when you chant, what you do is you obtain the meaning, all right? So when we just do chanting, we not just chant, we chant, we also understand the meaning of chanting. So Atha Veda, he understand the meaning. Then he emotion Dhamma. So Dhamma means you can take it as good qualities of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then he get the joy connected with the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then after that he get the joy. Then he get the pasambati, tranquilize. Then he experience sukha, happiness. So you can see here, actually, in terms of jhana, you got piti, sukha, right? You got two already, right? So when you think about the Buddha quality, actually, at that time, you will have vitaka and vichara, right? And initial thoughts, sustain application. So you think about the Buddha, so you got vitaka, vichara, then you got piti, you got sukha, right? Then after that, then you got samadhi, right? So even the simple thought like the Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghasati, you can improve and can develop your 5 jhana factors. So you got piti, sukha, and ekagata. Ekagata means samadhi. All right. So I put the link here. So not finished yet. All right. So that's how we practice to get jhana factors. Okay. Simple. All right. So I think I will finish here. So any questions people want to ask? So today we already talked about the so next week we'll talk more on the jhana factors and we talk about the 5 hindrances. Okay. So today we talk about just go very brief on these 4 type of practice. So if you are practicing this, you realize that most of the time we will have actually number 1. Dukkha Patipata Dana Vinya. It's a difficult progress and sluggish attainment for most people actually nowadays. Because in the Buddha time, a lot of people will be either 3 or 4. Okay, in Buddha's time. Very easy progress. They listen to Dhamma and then they contemplate for a while, they gain enlightenment. Okay. But now I think most people will be either this is a Dukkha Patipata Dana Vinya or Dukkha Patipata and Kippa Vinya. Okay. So anyway, so it's good to listen and perfect our parami. Any last question? Anybody want to ask something?
Sayangji,
Mm-hmm.
Sayangji, sorry, Su Hong
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Can I ask you something regarding page 82?
82. Well. Oh, you have the book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
The
Where do you buy the book?
no, the one that you put as main reference.
Oh, okay. You have the PDF copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
You should print out, so it save your eyes, you can print out. Yeah. Okay, which one you want to ask?
The part on proximate cause.
Okay,
Point number
yes.
4.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Proximate cause means near
No,
cause.
can
Near
I
cause.
ask
Yes.
the part that they say because of the words being blissful, his mind becomes concentrated. So proximate cause is bliss. Actually,
Yes,
can the
yes.
proximate cause be equanimity? Because if you
Equanimity.
based on the
Equanimity
jhana factor,
should be the in terms of Bojjhanga, we're talking about in terms of Bojjhanga. So actually I plan to discuss this next week.
no, in terms of like the 5 jhana factor.
Okay,
Because
I know.
yeah.
But I actually plan to discuss on this.
Oh,
in terms of, next week, all right, but since you asked about it, in terms of Bojjhanga, after you get Samadhi, then you got the equanimity. So equanimity is the result of Samadhi. It's not the cause. Yeah, okay?
But I thought in the 5 jhana factor, the end of it is, I think one of it is one pointedness.
Ekagata is ekagata is not equanimity.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
It's a different terms here. Ekagata means just full focus, like we say.
Oh,
What is actually jhana? Jhana is ekagata.
oh, okay,
Ekagata
okay.
is the last one. All right, one pointedness, samadhi.
Sorry,
Equanimity
what
is
I meant is, sorry, what I
yeah,
meant is
okay.
the blissful, in the proximal cause, can it be ekagata? Sorry.
Blissful is ekagata. No. Okay.
No, what I meant
Yeah,
is the proximal
ekagata is
cause.
no. Ekagata means is the one of the jhana factors. Proximal cause is something that cause the concentration. So it should be the blissful, means that when the mind calm down. Like just now I show you already, when the mind calm down, like this one. When the mind calm down, like just now the sutta. Where is the sutta just now? Okay. So like this. So when the mind have when the mind is got pasadi, pasambadi means pasadi and sukha, then you get samadhi. So this is a cause, right? So okay. So when your mind calm down, when your mind have pasadi or pasambadi means when your mind have pasadi means tranquility and you got bliss sukha, then due to this you get samadhi. Samadhi means one of the jhana factors. All right. So this is according to the text.
Oh, okay. Can.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, okay. So we will share the merits. All right. Thank you for actually both of you don't want to do the certificate lab, but actually it's not so difficult yet. Xiu Hong and what's another one? Sorry.
Because
Yeah,
the
Xiu Hua.
reason is we are taking another course.
Oh yeah, you all are. I think you all are so many courses. All right, it's okay, no problem. Okay, you all can see the screen, right? I haven't shared the screen. Okay. All right. So before we finish, let us share the merits. So we share loving kindness with all beings. So follow me with a very simple one. Okay. Sape sata sukita hontu. Havera hontu. Habya paja hontu. Aniga hontu. Suki atanam. Paliharantu Dukkha muchantu Yada lada sampadito Mavigachantu Kamasaka. So now we do a short sharing of minutes. Okay, iman no punya bagam sabha satanam dema. Iman no punya bagam sabha satanam dema. Iman no punya bagam sabha satanam dema. Idam no yatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idam no nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Okay, sadhu. Okay, so we stop here. So thank you for joining this class. I hope you all learn some good knowledge from this course. Today we talk about concentration. So anyway, after you learn, try to practice. Okay. Don't just stop at the theory. Thank you. Sadhu.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Saji. Sadhu.